Hello, everyone. My name is Josh Stevens, CTO at BackBox.
And my name is Hanoch Marmerstein. I'm the Director of Product.
Today, we're going to demonstrate the BackBox network automation platform. We're going to focus on closed-loop vulnerability mitigation, leaning on both the BackBox network automation platform and a brand new product that has been announced today as a pre-release limited availability. If you'd like to check it out, you can send an email to sales@backbox.com to get on the waiting list. It's called the BackBox Network Vulnerability Manager. We'll be sneak peeking that and showing you both products shortly.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about what we call closed loop vulnerability management. So one of the questions that we got here on previous session is you collect information about devices, right? You collect what is the vendor, what is the product, what is the version. Can you show me what I'm vulnerable to? And we get this, question like any other, like every two customers. And we started to think what to do about it. So first of all, we know that we're running an inventory discovery, right? We connect to the devices, we grab information about them. So what do we do with it, right? So what we are able to do today is send this very minimal, I'll say, inventory information to our NVM portal, and then say, okay, you are on version 15.1 on iOS, right? And on a certain product, yeah, and you are vulnerable to this number of CVEs, and you should be on version 15.3 if you want to take your
That's not on there.
your score to minimum. Okay, no, yeah. So basically,
This isn't showing up on the big screen.
okay. Oh, that's yeah. I need to do this. Okay, now we're good.
There we go.
Yeah, so you can see here our portal where we ingest this information. Maybe I need to log in, log out because it seems like it got disconnected.
You mentioned it looks at the version. Does it also like if there's a vulnerability that this is vulnerable, but only if you have this feature enabled, or does it look at that as well, or is it more of a unverified vulnerability?
Yeah, so currently we are of course on the first stages of launching. Currently, it's telling you this is the version that you have. It will take you to the CVE, right, and tell you like those are the CVEs. This is what you are vulnerable to. Those are the steps that you can mitigate. In the future, what we will do, we will also implement, we're talking about upgrades. Upgrade is kind of extreme, right? When you say to a customer, listen, I will take your inventory, I will take it, ingest it, I will tell you what you are vulnerable to, and then I will do the upgrade for you. The world is not ready for this, right? There is like, oh, stop. Right? I want to, control this. I want to look. So what we allow, and that's an example here that you have, is first of all, okay, let's go to a device that is actually vulnerable. Not this. Okay, so this device, right? An ASA device. So first of all, you can see kind of the risk score, right? It tells you this is your risk score, this is exploitability, right? What you have on the device itself. If I'll go to the attack surface management, I will see the list of CVEs that this current version of device is vulnerable to, okay? And then, okay, so I have low priority impact, high priority impact. I can look at this. What's nice about it, that you can actually go and say, okay, so these are, what I get on this specific CVE. And, continue what you say, I can go now to the CVE official page and say, do I have an ability to solve this other than do upgrade? Can I do configuration changes to the device and just solve it? And I don't want to go now into upgrade. You will see here things like in the wild score. Okay, so maybe we'll take into account, is this vulnerability is actually being exploited now or not? If yes, okay, let's do something about it. Let's upgrade, let's change the configuration. If not, okay, so we'll wait for a next maintenance window or something like this to do the upgrade. So all this collected information that you get from us is considered, right? There will be customers that tell you, listen, I don't need all of this, right? I need the current version that I'm on, right? what is the vulnerabilities and what is the recommended version, right? And that's it. I will upgrade, I will do whatever. Take back, I say 4 or 5 years ago, nobody was doing upgrades. Upgrades were like, okay, I have a version that is working. I don't want to touch anything, right? And then, vulnerability came, discovered, exploitability, Sony breach, right? Everybody is on vulnerabilities. And then, okay, I need a constant upgrade to the machine. And those, first of all, we talked about upgrades, right? If you have like hundreds of firewalls that you need to upgrade, you can find yourself in a constant loop of upgrading, over all the year, because you upgrade something and the next 2 weeks you discover that you have another vulnerability, right? So that's what we're trying to automate, right? Automating the upgrade. First of all, automating the ingesting of the inventory. We are the source of truth in your network for the inventory details, and then ingest this, tell you, what you are vulnerable to and what version you should be in.
And I assume that's updated every like 24 hours or something
Yeah,
on that
yeah.
cycle. And then you did mention risk scoring. How is that calculated? Is it quite specific to the version and the vulnerability, or can you put your own custom risk scoring into
So
it as well?
currently we're working like in the industry scoring, so CVSS score that you have, kind of an industry that is calculated the score risk that you have. We tell you, your score is now 88.4, and after I can show it, right? Actionable insight, right? So it tells you, okay, you are on a risk score 88.4. This is the current version that you have, 9.8.4. If you go to 9.14, the risk score will go down to 0. Okay, and you
But
can
you can't
actually
customize that
yeah,
yet.
but you can actually see. So not all customers are saying, okay, I want to go to the latest version, right? Latest version is kind of a risk, right? I want to see the stages. Maybe I can upgrade to a version that is out there for like the last 2 or 3 months, and I can go and see that, let's go for this. Okay, so more of kind of what is the first version that will bring you the score that you want to be in.
Acceptable
Okay.
risk.
Yeah, the acceptable risk. So you can see here that you see a table and it tells you what will be the risk before and after, and you can actually not upgrade to the latest version and upgrade to a few versions before. Yeah.
I was just thinking, obviously you've already said that's not possible, but I was just thinking of some devices that are maybe more critical, and then customizing, well, this device, if it goes down, it's test network, doesn't really matter. Whereas this device, if it goes down, goodbye production. So those are the kind of the customization I was thinking.
Kind of,
I like that.
kind of priority that the customer
Yeah.
tells you, okay, if this device is vulnerable, please,
Yeah.
shout on me.
The risk score, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
The risk of being compromised versus the risk of the business if it's compromised.
Yeah, kind of combining them.
I like that. Great suggestion.
Although it's calling the risk is kind of not as specific, but yeah,
No, I liked it.
So what we will do, so as Josh said, this is kind of like a pre-release with a waiting list. What we will do in the next version is actually incorporate the data back from the vulnerability manager, and you will be able to see in BackBox GUI itself those simple stuff that we talked about, right? What is the current version? What is the version that you should be in, vulnerable or not? Incorporating this into BackBox report and seeing it. And again, when talking about closed loop vulnerability mitigation, we are talking about discovery of inventory, sending this to ingestion, see the results, and then do the upgrades with BackBox. So we kind of think of ourselves like the first solution in the market, then incorporate automation with the vulnerability assessment. That on premise you can do automation. You can assess the vulnerabilities. You can solve very easily the vulnerabilities that you had with the automation that you can do from BackBox, and make your life easier.
These types of capabilities are common for endpoint management solutions, but
Yeah.
we've not seen them for network and security infrastructure devices. So we think this is really a compelling new offering. And the use case is very interesting in the enterprise, obviously. It's also very interesting in the MSP market because this becomes a revenue generating opportunity for those MSPs who are oftentimes charging a monthly fee for a managed firewall or a managed network service that may include basic maintenance and backup and restore and config management, but oftentimes vulnerability management becomes another tier of pricing, so it's a new revenue driver for them. So a lot of our MSP customers are very, very excited about this new product.
Well, in a lot of cases, the vulnerability management tools are there to tell you what's wrong, but not to really help you fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like, by the way, here's some more work you have to do.
And that's the worst thing ever, is to take a team of people that are already busy and overworked and tell them, oh, by the way, here's all this other work you didn't know you needed to do.
One more thing, give the club one more thing.
Yeah, that's why.
And also there's also the actual assessment of vulnerability as well, which takes additional time because, like others have pointed out, you have a vulnerability, and I've experienced this firsthand when your security team comes over and tosses it over the fence at you, and you're like, cool, we don't use this feature, so we're not. It doesn't affect us.
Yeah, or here's this, CVSS score of 10 on these devices, and you're like, they're not exposed to the internet. They're isolated.
Exactly right.
Or better
Air
yet,
gap,
or better yet, they toss it over and you go, yeah, we don't use these devices.
So that's how we'll enrich the product.
Mm-hmm.
Both for, do we use these services? Can we make a configuration change? How important are they in the network? Are they adjacent to a financial system? Are they in the lab? How do we prioritize that? That's the direction we're moving. Part of why this is a pre-release right now is we're really passionate about our customers. We want to hear from them on how they'd like to use the product, and we want to develop this together with our user community, because we think this is a really compelling thing and it will save people a lot of time. And hopefully give some time back to their families.
You mentioned the pre-release being limited, and there's a waiting list. That there's priority queuing for Tech Field Day delegates.
That's what I'm saying. If you want to be on that list, email sales@backbox.com or email me, josh@backbox.com, tell them you heard about it at Tech Field Day. We'll get you on the list, get you prioritized to be onboarded. Super compelling product, and we're just delighted to be talking about it here today and to be showcasing here at Tech Field Day.